Cambria was started as a not-for-profit sanctuary in 2008. The Great Recession started right after my mom and I moved here. And I would go to the store and I would see signs up at the store that said, no money to feed horse, no money to feed whatever. I started out by going to people's houses and taking food with me to people's houses and feeding animals. And the first horse that I got was Wizard, and he had no teeth and he was blind in one eye, and the family needed money, so I paid them $100 for the horse. And I went to buy a food trough for Wizard, and when I went to these people's house, they had a pig that was in a little tiny pen way at the back of their property. It didn't even have a gate open. The pig's toenails were over 12 inches long because it never got to wear them down. I just said, did you want your pig? And they go, why do you want it? I said, sure. So then I got a pig. Sometimes a shelter would call me, say, we have too many of something, could you take one in? When people start hearing that you'll help with animals, then you get calls. This is Rewind. When he was a tiny baby, he was attacked by other chickens, and so he almost died. And when he got to the point where he was strong, he could only run in reverse. So that's how he got his name. These are the alpaca, and one of them, Lady, she was a grand champion, and they brought her, they paid $40,000 for her. And whenever she had a baby, it had an incomplete windpipe, not going to the stomach, esophagus, I should say. And so that's how she happened to come here. Just for hay alone for the animals, it's like $2,500 a month. On top of that is grain, senior feed for the senior horses, special pig feed, special sheep, goat, waterfowl feed, chicken feed. Altogether, just the food alone for the animals is about $4,000 a month. Sugar Sweet, a lady was keeping, she was born with a walking problem, and the lady was keeping her way far away from her other horses in a little pen by herself, and she said, she has a horrible personality, you would never want her. I said, oh, I'll take her. It took her a really long time to warm up at all. When I first let her out here, she ran as far away from people as she could get. And this is Lucky. Lucky is a very highly trained police horse that can stand under helicopters and all that stuff, and got an injury, so can't be ridden. And so his stablemate died, and the policeman called me and said, I know you have horses over there. Lucky's not eating and standing in one spot like a statue because she's so depressed. So he brought her over, and she made friends with one of the horses here and started eating again, which was really good. She's in her 30s. She's a real old gal. Last month, 3 animals needed surgery. It was $25,000 for their surgery. They were both hand-raised because their mothers rejected them. This is Avery. And this is Estelle. She was hand-raised by me. That means you get up all night long, every hour at first to feed them. A lot of times people think livestock, oh, they don't come to their names, they don't, but they do. If you spend time with them, they do learn their names and they come individually. Here at the sanctuary, Cambria, Canines and More being rescued in America, we have 60 sheep, 13 alpaca, 1 goat, 11 horses, 6 of them are miniature, 1 miniature donkey, 9 geese, 12 ducks, 30 chickens, about 30 to 40 wild pigeons, 1 guinea pig, 1 chinchilla, 1 white dove, 1 water turtle, and dogs and cats. Altogether, about 140 animals who make this their permanent home. A couple of the unique things about Cambria is that the animals are home for life. Once they come here, then they'll be taken care of for life. I let the different species intermingle on the property so that if we have to evacuate because of a fire, I don't have to worry about the alpaca or scared of the pigs or the this or that. And the other thing is that it's very healthful for the animals to be able to run up and down the hills and everything, for their muscles, to keep them strong. Most of my animals are older animals, and so most places keep their animals in small pens. Jester, the little pinto here, he was a driving pony for a cart, and the lady took him out one day and there was a snake, and she pulled back too hard on the reins and he went totally over backwards and landed on top of the cart, and after that he wouldn't trust her at all, and so that's how he happened to come, because of the accident he was in. This is Babe, and he's a Surrey alpaca. His mom rejected him when he was born, so I hand raised him, and he had a 5% chance of making it, but I said, oh, he's going to make it. So I went and observed female alpacas and how they related to their babies. One of the things that they do is they kiss their babies all the time. So I started kissing him. So to this day, Babe, come here, kiss, kiss. This is Don Diego. I went to buy some water troughs from somebody, and he happened to be there, and he was far away from all the other horses, and he was standing in a little pen by himself on at least a foot of manure covering the entire thing. He's one of the few that I bought out of his circumstance because I felt so bad for him. He was only 4 months old at the time. He was a tiny little guy. He was like those little horses you buy at the store that are little stuffed animal horses. He was like this, little tiny guy. There you go, Trixie. There you go. If you notice, Trixie kind of missed the apple with her muzzle because she's almost 100% blind. She can see shadow from far away. If you put her in a pen, she spins in a tiny, tiny circle because she'll bounce, and anything up close, she runs into it. But you leave her outside, she never runs into anything. And she smells her way on the ground, or else she puts her head against the flank of another small horse, just like a blind person will put their hand on the shoulder of a friend to walk along. Because I don't have any staff here, paid staff, I don't have anybody to get donations and solicit grants and all that, which takes time. So I have been working part-time and donating $75,000 of my own money every year, which is more money actually than I have been making a year. And because of the vet bills recently, now for the first time in my life, because I'm a frugal person, I have $35,000 on credit cards. Never have had that before. And so and that's because of the vet bills that suddenly came up. And so I really need your help. And you can be absolutely sure that 100% of anything that you give goes straight to the animals. There are some other sanctuaries around here that bring in $1 million a year, but they spend hundreds of thousands on publicity. I don't. All the money is going to go straight to the animals, to their care. We here at Cambria Sanctuary really need your help. Of course, we'd really love big donations, but even $1 will buy a bag of carrots.